So let me share my screen with you. So okay. So do you see my screen right now? Yes. Okay. Perfect. So and here is the agenda for that. So what is the new features in 2.3? And the first thing is about the stereo support and audio forwarding in SFU mode. So basically, in the previous version, in 2.2 and earlier, I mean the earlier ones than the 2.3, we transcode the audio for every time because of some problems in the WebRTC stack. I mean, it's not some problem, so it's lack of development actually. So right now, we just, if you don't have any adaptive bitrate on the server side, so for our case, there is no adaptive bitrates for WebRTC app EE. If you don't have any adaptive bitrate on the server side, so the incoming WebRTC audio stream is forwarded directly to the viewers. So right now, when I click to start publishing, and when I click the WebRTC player in here, so this audio is not transcoded. It is just directly forwarded through the ANT media. So that if the browser is sending stereo audio, if the browser is sending multi-channel audio, so it will be directed to the viewers, and there is no transcoding in this process. So it saves some CPU resources for that as well. So you can have more publishers in a single instance in the same instance types with Ant Media Server. So do you have any questions about that?
Or
Please.
maybe we can mention that
Okay.
we define this use case as SFU. Sometimes we use SFU mode. It means that you use Antmedia server without any transcoding, without any adaptive bitrate setting.
Yeah. So Logan, audio streams no longer take about the same CPU as a video stream, for instance. So take about the same CPU. Yes, the audio streams no longer take about the same CPU as a video stream. Yes, basically audio streams and video streams. Audio streams takes less CPU resources, but in the earlier versions, audio processing has some using some more CPU resources. We just optimize that. Okay.
Maybe you will tell, but let me add something about this. We will still transcode the video for AAC right now with the default settings, right?
Yeah.
If we want to avoid transcoding, also for AAC, you need to do two things. Firstly, you need to disable HLS streaming. It is enabled by default, and you need to. There is a setting enable AAC encoding. I think something like that. You need to set it to false.
Okay. Okay. So just let me tell this way. So if you enable recording live streams as MP4 or HLS, the incoming audio is still converted to the AAC for recording purposes. And if you don't use the MP4 recording or HLS streaming, just disable both of the MP4 and HLS streaming, and also please disable AAC and disable this component on the server side. So you just need to settings AAC encoding enabled to false in the Ret5 properties file. So if you just set it, then there is no transcoding for the server side, and you can record the stream as a WebM. So I think we can proceed. So is stereo enabled by default, or do we make the constraints need to be tweaked? Burak, could you please answer this question?
Okay. Actually, in this version, stereo feature is enabled, but I have seen some differences between Chrome browser and the Firefox browser. In Firefox, let me first about my test. I have tested it in that way. I open a WebRTC publish, start a WebRTC publish. In my PC, there is two microphones. So when I talk to one side of my PC, I wait the different outputs for different channels. I start a WebRTC stream, then I record that stream, and I check the two channel outputs. In Firefox, two channels are different, have different signals. It's okay. This shows stereo mode is okay for Firefox. But in Google Chrome, two channels are the same, have the same signals. But when we add a parameter into the media constraints, as Logan wrote, Chrome browser, it works also for the Chrome browser. Let me write the chat panel, the related thing. Okay.
Sure. Okay. So we can proceed to low latency dash and low latency HLS. As first, a low latency dash is not enabled by default. I mean, dash maxing is not enabled by default. You just need to enable that through the Ret5 properties file. And the dash, yes. So you need to set the settings dash maxing enabled true on the properties file. And also, if you can enable low latency HLS as well. So this is the settings dash low latency HLS enabled. So maybe sometimes you can ask where to find these parameters, because the current configuration documentation is not up to date. We are thinking some way to make it up to date. But right now, as a workaround solution, you can just go to the app settings, which is a property, which is a class in the Antimedia Server Common project. I can type in here as well. Yep. So in here, so you can just check all the settings in here, and we all document it for. We always document that. So I'm just sending these app settings file through the chat window. So we need to enable dash, and we need to enable the low latency HLS enabled if we want low latency HLS. And low latency dash is enabled by default. So right now I'm just there's a stream running in my end, and I'm just going to publish an RTMP stream with FFmpeg. So right now it is publishing to my local Antimedia server as an RTMP input, and also we support WebRTC to dash conversion as well. So just let me show you the how to play that and what is the critical thing in dash streaming. So okay, right now, yes, it is playing. And the critical thing in here is that you see that in traditional HLS, the files, the segment files, only sent when it is finished. But in CMF, the files is being transmitted while it is being populated, so that you can see a file, and when we check the timings, you see that it takes about 5 seconds to download, but it is just a small file. It's a like 100 kilobits, kilobyte or something like that. So it means that server is just sending the stream on the fly, and it is also writing in the local disk as well. But for the populating segments, it will just forward to the user. And you will get a latency in here between 3 to 5 seconds. And in traditional HLS, you can see a latency about 5 seconds, but in here you can have a latency between 3 and 5 seconds. One different thing in dash streaming is that, so you're probably familiar with the streams directory. So as you know, the Antimedia server records the streams in here. But in dash streaming, it just creates another folder with the stream ID, and it put the dash file, segment files, and the M3U8 files in here as well. Which means that so it's going to be finished maybe, so that you can play these M3U8 files as a low latency HLS. The critical thing in low latency HLS is that this is the FFmpeg implementation of the low latency HLS. This is not the official Apple low latency HLS implementation. I get some feedbacks about the Apple low latency HLS implementation about using too many resources or something like that, and I'm not very sure. But right now we support low latency HLS through FFmpeg implementation. It's a little different, and as far as I know, the FFmpeg will support official Apple official HLS implementation as well. So guys, do you have any question with the low latency dash, low latency HLS? Just let us know. Can we have DVR using RTMP? So you can have DVR using RTM. I mean, right now Antimedia server supports RTMP playback, but we don't maintain the RTMP playback, and we just plan to remove the RTMP playback for the future releases, so that we have implemented a similar latency and more compatible technology like CMF. So it is more how can I say, promising. So if you have any questions, just drop an email, just drop the message, and then we will, you can also ask later again. So low latency HLS have more or less 3 to 5 seconds of latency, isn't possible. Generally, yes, you can decrease. In the best scenario, you probably have a latency like 1 second or something like that. But for buffering, for TCP stuff, the recommended latency is between 3 and 5 seconds. So if you plan to have lower, maybe you can switch to WebRTC. If want to use low latency dash, should adaptive streaming enabled? No need to enable the adaptive streaming for using low latency dash. You can use, but if you enable adaptive streaming, then there will be multiple tracks for the multi-bit rates on the dash file, so that your users can watch the best one according to their internet connection. So, so that we are going to make a WebRTC merge right now. There's a news on our end, so just let me make the demonstration first, and I'm going to give some updates for the next release. So this is just our conference HTML, and I'm just going to it from a different. Okay. So my computer is making recording, having some other stuff as well in the backend, so it is a little heavy for that. So when you first go to the WebRTC publish page, you will see a WebRTC sample list in here. So you will see which samples we are providing in the WebRTC in Antimedia server. So we support WebRTC, merge WebRTC conference streams. So you can run this as a headless Chrome as well. And you just need to type the conference room that you want to connect to, and you just need to type the stream ID that this page will going to publish to the server. So just click the start button in here. So right now it is getting two streams from the server, and then it's merging, mixing the audio as well, and then sending back to the Antimedia server. So so that we can see the merge stream in here. So okay, it's publishing. I think it is, computer is loaded too much. Okay, it says high resource usage. So server is, my computer is running so many stuff. So basically it is in the merge stream tab, and you can just watch this stream as a single stream in the conference room, and you can have multiple people can join the conference, and you can see all of them in just a single stream. Brett, could you please tell this feature about the next release, that we have some support for the built-in MCU mode?
Okay. Actually, we will have two new features with the next within the next release. One of them is about the plugins. Using plugins feature, you can get both compressed and uncompressed video or audio streams to the outside of the box, outside of the Antimedia server. This is a plugin feature, and on top of it, we have developed our merging actually MCU feature. MCU is, as you know, the central unit for the merging incoming streams into one frame. In this case, previously was made demonstration has merged the streams on the client side and republished the stream into the server again, but the merging is on the client side. Within the MCU feature in the next release, this process will be done by the server itself. So the load, processing load, because it needs transcoding, also some scaling, merging, such process are made on the server side, not in client side. So it will be CPU effective for the clients.
Yeah,
I think we will make another, we will schedule another such a call to demonstrate both plugin mechanism and MCU, I think.
yeah, sure, absolutely. So, in short, in the next release, the MCU feature is available. The merge stream feature is available in the backend as a built-in solution in the Antmedia server. So it is a very use case. It's a very good use case like this. So, for instance, you are just having 5 people having a video conference call, and you just want them to be watched by tens of thousands of people. So if you merge them and just stream that merge stream to your audience, it means that you will you will save lots of CPU resources for that. Because in a conference call, if you are watching 5 people, it means that server sending 5 streams to you. But in this scenario, the server just only sent one stream. It will save the bandwidth, it will save the CPU resources in this scenario. But basically, this is also an answer one of the question. Merging stream is not a very easy task. So it is a process-intensive operations, which means that the Antmedia server gets the stream, decodes every one of them, then scales them into a canvas, put them into together, also merge the also merge this. I mean, mix the audio as well, and then sends back to the Antmedia server. So that it is not a very easy operation. It's a process intensive operations, and we will support the GPU for this transcoding as well in order to have a better real-time experience for your users. So just let me back to the questions and answer them. What is the CPU usage difference between the low latency dash versus WebRTC? As you know, WebRTC is a very complex protocol. It uses more CPU than the low latency dash and low latency HLS in any HTTP delivery. So there's about 3 to 5 times low latency dash uses less resources for streaming. Is it possible to hide the login port in the output stream URL? Yeah, absolutely. You can just hide the login port. By default, Antmedia server uses 5080 for HTTP access and 50 for and it uses 5443 for HTTP access. If you want to use the default ports, you just need to forward them through these commands in the installation. So yeah, forward default HTTP and HTTPS ports to these ones. So I'm just sending these for your convenience. So okay, perfect. Thank you for that. So the next question: what is the latency when merged streams? The latency is about in normal scenario, the latency is less than half a second, and when the streams are merged through the video through the canvas with the browser, the latency is about 1.5 seconds. So great. Do we have recording formats? Yeah, absolutely. So the merge stream is just another stream that you can do any kind of operations with this one. Most of our users are thinking about sending these merge stream to some RTMP endpoints like Facebook, like YouTube. So you can do that. If we use WebRTC app EE, then I'm able to go live on YouTube and Facebook. But if you use WebRTC app, I'm unable to go live on. Actually, you can go live on WebRTC app EE as well. There is no restriction with that. So live app, WebRTC app, all of them are okay. So maybe we can just take a look at your case and try to see what the problem is. Yeah, when you use merge stream, the use CPU is very high. Yes, so we talk about that. We need conference recording streams to be merged as well. Currently, each stream within the conference is recorded separately. How to play them on one interface. The merge stream is the correct solution for your case. And this is and we just implement this merge streams functionality as a workaround solution because we are getting so many requests from our users. As mentioned before, we are going to support this feature as a built-in feature for the Antimedia server, so that it will record it will record the conference and merge all the attendees in a canvas. So if I miss it, do you have an idea of the maximum number that you will be able to merge? So right now we are implementing this feature so that we don't have the exact number that how many numbers that we will able to merge. But I think that, Lauren, it is about the capacity of the CPU and the GPU probably. Is the merge option available in the AWS server version? So AWS Marketplace is not updated yet. We plan to update it for the next week, and this merge stream will be available there as well. Thank you, Brian, for asking these questions. And RG, is it advisable to use the Google's free turn server? Do I need to set up my own turn server? Okay, it is another good questions, Orji. So basically, Google does not provide the turn servers. It provides turn server previously, but right now it only supports stun server. So stun server just lets the user lets the user know their public IP addresses. So if you are having some kind of corporate network and you have some firewall restrictions, you may need to use the turn server, and you can install your own turn server with the documentation. Lauren, great, thanks. I think it's my pleasure to answer. So, Lucas, for merge streams, it is necessary GPU card or not? So it is not necessary to use the GPU card. But because it is a process-intensive operations, it is not recommended to use the CPU for that. It will use lots of CPU resources, and you cannot have so many resources for streaming if you use the CPU for that. Okay, thank you very much, Lucas, for your questions, and thank you, Burak, for sharing the turn server documentation. So we can go to another sample whiteboard implementation on top of WebRTC Data Channel. Most of our users are asking this feature, and we just enable this feature by implementing another open source project to the Antimedia server, and we use we use the canvas from the WebRTC experiment. So just take a look at this one: publish with whiteboard and play with whiteboard. So in order to use the canvas, make sure that the data channel is enabled in the application settings. As you know, so it is enabled in here. So let's take a look at that. So this is just a small video stream, but you can configure it and you can just change it according to your UI requirements. So we just want to point out the canvas and the whiteboard in here. So you will just start publishing as usual. So right now the data channel is created as well, and when you just draw something in here, it will be transmitted to all players. And just let me start playing. Yep. So you can see my drawing in the other tab. So just let me draw something in here, and you will this drawing in here as well. So I can even type some things. Thank you guys for joining this call. So you can see the same one from here. So it is good for education or showing some drawings to your audience. So as you know, this is the data channel transmission. you can just configure the player's messages distribution. So I mean, if you set the nobody, then the player's drawing will not be sent to anyone. So it will not be synchronized. So if you set the only publisher, then this message is only published to the broadcaster that published the stream to the clients. Okay, so do you have any questions about that?
We have 3 new questions.
Okay, thank
One
you.
of them is related to this one. Maybe you can
Okay.
check.
Okay. The new SFU will allow to mute and unmute devices directly from the server sides. So thank you, Marco. The new SFU no, it doesn't. This is another feature, and we are right now providing some REST API, some stuff for muting, unmuting, uh, enabling and disabling video tracks, audio tracks as well for the clients. Because here is the use case. Some of our users are just saying that we don't use the video track, but Antimedia server uses the video stream, so that we just want to disable the Antimedia server sending the video track. So we are going to provide enabling and disabling video and audio tracks for the users, and yes, for the users. I'm not sure if it is the correct answer for your questions. If I miss something, please let me know. And from Brian, is there a recommended AWS instance type for using the new features? So basically, you can use the default one, C5. I think the default one is C5X large, and it has 4-core CPU. So and it is absolutely it absolutely changes according to your use case and your number of viewers and your number of publishers. So basically, these features you can use it with the default one. Marco, I cannot see anything. So, well, so I'm just reading the chat window and sharing my screen.
Yes, actually, we could see your screen. Marco may play the video, recorded video later if you missed something.
Yeah, okay, sure.
We will share this.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Marco. And the next question from Ssl Keys. Can we use data channel or whiteboard without publishing audio and video? So it's a great question, and this is the next demonstration. Okay, thank you, Marco. And Ahmed says, what is the cause of error WebSocket not connected while in a conference session? So it means that the connection with the server has been dropped for some reason. Maybe our support team can just take a look at your server and understand why the connection has stopped. Maybe it's a network issue, maybe it's on the backend server issue. Oops. So WebRTC Data Channel. So it is the great timing, Shilpesh. So WebRTC Data Channel support without video and audio. This is another request coming from our users. So in this, just let me show that one, WebRTC Data Channel sample in here. So in this sample, you don't need to publish video or audio. You just need, you can just get connected through WebRTC Data Channel, and you will just click the join channel in here, and then you will join in another tab. So the two of them are in the same stream, but the methodology is almost same. There's no difference with that. So the first one is the publisher, this one, and this one is the player. But right now the only data is transmitted between for the users. So just send a message from the player. So hello has been sent, and it is received in here as well. So you can, hi guys. So this is the publisher, and it will receive from here as well. So there is no audio, there is no video on the data channel. And you can, if you just disconnect from the publisher side, I mean, if the first one is that creates the room disconnects, we will just ask these questions. Are you sure to disconnect that? Because if the publisher disconnects, as in the video and the audio case, the players will get disconnected automatically. So if you say okay, so that the other guys cannot, it is also disconnected automatically. Do you have some questions for that? Let us know. Yeah, there is some way for WebSocket reconnection before giving an error. We can we have some workaround solutions for that. Maybe we can discuss this issue. So just let me know, guys, if you have any questions for the WebRTC data channel. You can type on the chat window, and I can proceed to the next feature that is coming from the application deploy and undeploy on the fly in the cluster mode as well. So right now this is my local server, and it is not in the any cluster, as you see. So I'm just going to join it to a cluster. So there is a cluster. There's a simple cluster in our cloud, in our test servers. So I just made the configuration, and I'm just starting the server in the cluster mode. And then it will get connected with the OVH 36 to be in the same cluster. So this is already in the cluster, and this is its public IP address, and this one is probably my local computer, because I just configured that use its local IP address for connecting to the cluster. I may change it, but right now it is not necessary. So and just let me close these tabs. So let me refresh the page. Okay. So right now, as you see, my local computer is in the cluster as well, and you see the public IP address of the OVH 36 in here, and this is my local IP address. So I'm just going to create an application here by running by requesting a REST method. So, and this REST method is available for the web application console, which means that this is an REST API for this interface. I mean, it is not for the user interface. It is about the root application, that it will respond requests from this user interface. And the another news is that we are just going to make this management interface developer friendly, which means that we are just going to expose it for the users. We will document it, and you will just use the same methods from your interfaces, from your applications, servers, etc. So I'm just going to run this request from here, because it is already authenticated, and I'm just going to create a test2 application, and I'm using the post method for that, and I'm just requesting this. I'm just making this request to this URL. And these URLs will be developer friendly, and it will be documented for the next release 2.3.1. So it returns true. And just let me check the log. So it is creating the application right now on the server side. And it will also notify the MongoDB that a new application is being created, so that we will see the OVH36 will have the same application in its interface. Just let me refresh the page. Yeah, you see Ssl Key is available in here as a new application. And I can just go to the Ssl Key directly. So you see this is just the same application. Just you can click to start publishing, and right now it is publishing. And you see that in here, you see that the Ssl Key has an application with the stream ID stream1. Just let me check that through the OVH36. So yeah, you see there's a same application in here as well. Its name is test2, and it will have the same settings. So and another feature is that maybe most of guys, you probably know that, just as a reminder, when you change a setting in here, so it will be distributed through the all nodes that are in the same cluster. So that I just enable VP8 here, and okay, my license is invalid. Okay, I can handle that. And just let me refresh that. So as you see, I enabled the VP8 from the OVH36, and the same application have the same settings from here. The synchronization takes about 5 or 10 seconds to deliver the settings to all nodes. So do you have any question with that? Okay, I think we have. So is there only data channel demo in conference use case? Yeah, I think we can do that. Maybe, by the way, guys, so when you ask this question, I just want to share an information with that. One of the guy in the community just developed a React Native Antmedia SDK. So we are getting requests for implementing React Native SDK, but we don't have time for that. Some community guy just implement it and make it available on the as a node package, so it will be available to download. And we will just schedule another meeting with these guys, and it will just give you how to use the React Native application, React Native Antmedia SDK to create a React Native application. So there is no data channel demo for the conference. It can be doable, and it will be very good if community guy just provide that. If not, we will do our best to provide a kind of data channel demo in the conference. So Martin, thank you for your questions. For what can one use the data channels? For the whiteboard only, or for anything else as well? So it's a really great question. So we provide the data channels as a generic solution. We don't restrict anything for that. You can use for whiteboard, you can use for anything, for chat, for control messages, for other stuff. So last week I just analyzed a project that guys uses the data channel for controlling lots of stuffs in their application. So I really impressed for that. So they will aggressively use data channel for controlling their web application. So Ali, for your questions, I'm trying to make auto login without login buttons, but it fails. I've tried auto login after 3, but all fails. Any suggestions? Also, on the other hand, where can we enable disable recording? Okay, so auto login, you means you need to log into the web panel of Antmedia server. So I'm not sure for that. Maybe it does not make sense for me too much. I'm not sure, but because it is just a web application, there is nothing for the backend side. Probably there's some issue in the browser side. Just let me know if you mention logging for the web panel. And for enabling and disabling recording, Antmedia REST API for the applications has recording methods. So on the fly, you can enable and disable recording, even if you don't enable the recording on the server side. Just let me tell in this way. Okay, so if you enable record live streams as MP4, it means that it will be recorded for every stream. Every stream will be recorded from start to finish. But you can uncheck this one, and you can call this method, this one, on the fly. So for instance, just assume that you are just starting a streaming and you just want recording from 10 from 10 seconds 10 seconds from seconds 20 to 30, or some minutes or some hours according to your case. You can just enable first, it will start recording, and then you can just disable recording by just giving the false parameter in here. And after you give the false parameter, the recording will be available in a couple of seconds. And it will support MP4 and WebM recording as well. But just pay attention that if you don't enable the VP8, it will not record as a WebM. You need to enable WebM. You need to enable the VP8 for WebM recording. And okay, so will app settings eventually be synchronized between cluster nodes? For example, editing one of the settings in Red5 properties doesn't have the new nodes as they come online. Correct. So Logan, yeah, okay, good question. So app settings is synchronized between the cluster nodes, but it's synchronized through the database in the MongoDB. If you just change the properties file, it will not synchronize through the database. What I recommend is that, I think there is a in here, yeah. So when you connect to your database, so there will be an there will be a database or collection with app settings, and you will see all application settings in here. So I mean, you can just change one of them, hash control publish enable to true, and you also need to change the update time in here. So there will be update time in here. Just let me find for you. Yeah, okay, update time. So if you change any, you can change any parameter from here. You can add new parameters from here. And if you also change the update time, then it will be synchronized through the all cluster nodes in probably between 5 to 10 seconds. Last time we updated Antmedia Server Enterprise Edition, we had issues using custom Ssl keys and needed to revert to previous version. Has that problem been solved? We have some improvements for that, for the SSL case, for the custom SSL case, in the upcoming release. But maybe we just confirm that for your case. I'm not sure it's. I know there are improvements for the SSL custom SSL case, but I don't know your exact case. So Logan, that or making more of the settings available in the web GUI ideally, yeah, it's a good question again. We can make it available for the graphical user interface. We just want to make this page very loaded. I'm not sure, but maybe we can add some advanced sections like here in a more better way so that you can configure most of the things. Logan, could you please create an issue on the GitHub? I at least take a look at the issues for every 2 or 3 days, try to schedule that. Just let us know which settings you need more, and we will just go step by step and adding some more new features in the graphical user interface. So, Ben, thank you. How long does it take to sync the settings to the other nodes in the cluster? I didn't quite hear what you said. Okay, thank you for asking again for that. So it takes about between 5 to 10 seconds. So thank you, Enes, for sharing the React Native SDK link. And Teresa, hello, sorry for out of topic. If we have a perpetual license, how long can we receive the free updates from Antmedia to the latest version? If there's a limit, can we just buy a license extension to receive a latest version of Antmedia? Thank you. Thank you, Reza, for asking. So right now, we don't provide the perpetual licenses, but the perpetual licenses sold before is still available, so that you can use that for lifetime. There's no problem with that. By default, we provide the free updates for 1 year and free support. You can get you can get support and maintenance update for yearly. It is $199 as far as I remember. So just send an email to contact@antmedia.io to continue the support and maintenance for the new updates. We can just provide that. RG, in cluster mode, can two nodes share CPU resources if one node is using full resource of its CPU? So yes, if you are sharing the CPU resources and you don't have very strict allocations, one node can consume all the CPU resources. So please pay attention that your instances have some limitations for accessing the CPU resources. The 2.3 version can handle recording really long live streams, or is it still won't be able to forward chunks to S3? Long live streams. So I don't, or it still won't be able to forward chunks to S3. So I don't get the question, Daniel. Could you please explain it?
Actually, we are working on this issue, I think, this week to upload HLS chunks to the S3 service. It may be related to that feature.
I mean, it is. So, okay.
But
so
it is not available in 2.3 version, but it will be ready for the next version, I think.
Yeah, okay. If the question is this, to forward the to upload the HLS segments on the fly to the S3, yeah, it will be under development right now. But for the recording as an MP4 file, the MP4 file is uploaded to the S3 when it is finished. So it seems something like that. But maybe it will be also uploaded automatically if S3 is connected through a fuse adapter and the location of recording has been changed to the mount point that is actually in the S3. Okay. So, Burak, could you please tell how to use the time-based tokens?
Sure, let me share my screen.
Yep.
As you know, we have some mechanisms for stream security, which are documented in here. And time-based token is a newer token mechanism for the stream security. We have documentation about it. I think it's still in draft. You can find it from here. Also, I'm writing a blog post about the time-based token. It is now, it's also draft, but maybe we can continue from this one. Time-based token is synchrony for time-based one-time password tokens. In this token mechanism, you generate a token for a deterministic time interval. Here is a sample website for token one-time token generator page. You have a secret key. You also define the number of the digits for the token. Also, you define the period, and the algorithm generates a password for you, and you can use this password for a period of the token you set. For example, this token is valid for 20 more seconds. After these 20 seconds, this will be updated. And if you don't use this in 20 seconds, you can't use it anymore. How we are using this in our case, firstly, you need to register your subscriber to the Antimedia server with their ID and their secret to generate the best token. And also you need to provide the mode of the subscriber, who is publisher or player. You need to determine this one. Then Antimedia server stores this for the subscriber, and for publish and play scenario, publisher need to generate, or you can generate the token and provide it to the publisher. And while publisher is starting to publish the stream, he should pass the generated password to the server. Otherwise, server does not let starting the new stream. This is how it works. Also, it is for playing case. We have you can control all these sequence from REST API. We will publish this blog post, and all REST APIs are documented here. You can create subscriber with his ID and secret and its type. You can delete subscriber. You can delete all subscriber list subscribers, and at the end of the stream, you will have some statistics for the subscriber. Actually, this is a good feature. Beside the time-based token, you can get some statistics about the subscriber. As I mentioned, I think this is a draft blog post, and I haven't wrote the statistic, but you can see the start, publish or play start time, end time, also bitrate, average bitrate. And you can get some statistics for the subscriber at the end of the stream using this time-based token. If you have a question, I will try to answer any question about that.
Yeah, okay, there are some questions there. So I think I can give some generic questions. So, Logan, you are asking about the estimated time for 2.3 release. We will provide to it on this week, probably on Friday. And you can just get a snapshot that has fixes for the broken audio on the streams. So Daniel, so your questions, I tried to enable recording and forwarding to S3, but when it gets long, it takes all disk space from the instance storage and crashes. So I got it. I got the point. I think for MP4 recording, it is not very it is good. It is good to bind S3 through through a fuse adapter in order to record the stream directly to S3, so that your disk space will not full and your server will not crash for that. So Dilip, you have two questions. Okay, thank you for your questions. Can we upgrade the current 2.2 server to 2.3? Yes, you can do that without losing the data. Also, the SDK API will be compatible. Yes, it will be compatible with the new version. Also, while publishing via RTMP, the client player side stream is jittery in WebRTC Play while it works well with HLS. Is that the common issue in 2.2 or is it addressed in 2.3? Yeah, it's a good question. We have learned some things from the community side about this case as well. So I mean, if you are publishing with OBS and if you are adaptive bitrate, multi-bitrate on the server side, you need to make sure that the frame rate should be same. Otherwise, you will get a jitter or some kind of issues with that. By default, Ant Media server uses 20 frame per second. Yeah, you just make sure that it is same. It will reduce the jitter and some kind of small freezes in playing. On the other hand, if you still have some kind of problems for RTMP to WebRTC play, there's some kind of networking issue. Maybe there's a jitter in the network. Maybe there is round trip times is not very good. We can analyze that. Logan got you. Thank you, Logan. Thank you very much. Please, Brock, can you share the link regarding? Okay, Brock has shared the link. So the question: how can we create a user and assign it to a stream so that person can see their statistics?
Okay, you need to call this REST method. With this REST method, you pass the stream ID as a URL parameter to REST method, and you create a subscriber with his ID. Also, you determine the secret key for him, and you pass the type of the subscriber. After creating subscriber, a publisher A should generate or should have a token to publish the stream to Antimedia server, and also this token is time-based. It will be invalid in the determined time unless you use it. After all publishing finished, you can use this REST API to get the statistic for the specified user. Actually, you get whole statistic for whole subscriber with this method.
Okay. So, guys, actually we plan for 1 hour, and right now it is about 1 hour and about 10 minutes. Do you have some feedbacks for us? For nurturing the community or for Ant Media server side, we are just happy to hear some feedbacks or some messages. You can just let us know here, and thank you, man. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me and for us as well to just have a discussion with you. And we plan actually, guys. To be honest, we are just thinking how to nurture the community and how to make something good for everyone. And we are very open with that. So just let us know how to do some good stuff, or maybe we can do some other events, maybe some gifts. Just let us know. We are open to discuss these issues. And we are always on the side for the win-win part. So it will be just the win-win. And we will continue to have these kind of sessions for the upcoming releases, and maybe some we will organize some kind of office hours as well. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for joining this session. We really appreciate that, and you can give feedbacks on the Google group and some other places as well. And we will be in touch with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure, Arju. Thank you.